Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Welcome to Bariatrics and Tips. I am Michelle Geeson, your hostess with the mostest today. I appreciate you joining me on a Saturday rather than a Sunday. I know that it goes against the grain of our format, but I had a family commitment tomorrow that I could not ignore. So thanks for bending and flexing with me. Thanks for being here. We've got a great segment to give you today called See a Tomato. And you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. But first of all, if you're new to this format, welcome. We are here every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to bring you a live recipe demonstration. And if you're tuning in, you're definitely tuning in on our new and improved Facebook page. We have moved and outgrew our space. So thank you for joining me here. Make sure that you like and follow Bariatrics and Tips. Make sure you tell everyone that you know, because we are growing and we've got a lot of plans, and we just want you to come along for the ride. So thank you. You know, I look forward to this show every week, and last week we had the week off due to the holidays, so I hope everyone's had a great 4th of July holiday, celebrating with friends and family in a more normal, non-COVID sense. It was a great weekend. My daughter turned 16 on the 3rd, and America had a birthday party on the 4th, and it was great. And I made what I think are pretty good food choices during that whole time, so hopefully you did the same. And you know, one thing we all have in common is that we've all had weight loss surgery, or we're gearing up to have weight loss surgery. And if for some reason you haven't had bariatric surgery and you're just looking for overall wellness, or you're looking for ways to control your diabetes, this is the definite place to be, because the tips and tricks and tips that we have give you very well-rounded ways to live large and cook small and find flavor in everything that you do. And that is the mission of me and of our group page. But you know, just because we're given this tool, just because we have either had bariatric surgery, or we have to watch our sugar, or we're watching our carbs, it doesn't mean we have to be deprived of eating well, because food is a huge part of our lives, and it's a really big part of society and tradition and holidays and religion and group functions and work functions and everything. So we need to learn to find ways to coexist with it, because it's not going away anytime soon. So the object for you is to remove the word deprived from your vocabulary, because you don't need to walk the face of this earth feeling deprived anymore. That is not good for anyone, because feelings of deprivation and the ability to remain in control go hand in hand. And for me, when the control freak loses control, it's not a pretty sight. So remove the word deprived from your vocabulary, because life after bariatric surgery or diabetes, or again, just for overall wellness, isn't meant to be spent wishing that we could have this or that. We can have fun with food. You're gonna see that we can live, and we can live well. We can experiment. This is our second chance at life. This is our new outlook. And for me, I plan on doing it to the fullest, okay? So for those of you who don't know, I did have gastric bypass surgery April 22nd, 2015. That is my rebirth day. So technically I am 6 years old, which is way better than the birthday I'm about to have next month. But anyways, you'll often refer to me here, you know, saying that as my rebirth day. So happy rebirth day to you guys. It's a day to celebrate, because that's the day for me that I took my life back. I took control. I decided to make a permanent change to my lifestyle. And I really hope that you view your rebirth day as that way too. I've lost 130 pounds. I've kept it off. I've worked very hard throughout my journey. There's been the good, the bad, the ugly, and the really good, bad, and ugly. So do I have regrets? No, I don't have any regrets. But what I do have is insight. I'm only human. I make mistakes. I'm so not perfect. But the difference is now I'm so cognizant of being able to spot the onset of bad behaviors that I can just, you know, tell them to put up their dukes and take it away. So I've dedicated myself in Bariatrics and Tips to finding ways that I know of to remake my favorite recipes, to live large, to cook small because I don't need to eat big. And the goal is to find flavor in everything that you do, because that flavor is going to take you way past any feelings of deprivation, okay? And it's worth the time and the effort. And I know I'm worth the time and the effort, and I know you are too, okay? So we have a lot of exciting things that we want to share on Bariatrics and Tips. So I do ask that that you like and follow if you haven't already. Share this with your friends and family, with your Facebook acquaintances. Anyone that lends you support on your journey is welcome to be part of our community, okay? And if you still are a member of our current and old Facebook page, please help migrate to this new page, because you are going to start to see content dwindle from the previous page, and you're going to see more content on this new and improved Facebook page, because the things that we want to do have to be done on this bigger format page, okay? So remember, if you need specific medical guidance or have questions, definitely loop in your surgeon or your dietitian, because they're the pros, they know. But if you have any questions, or if I can provide any feedback or any answers to any of the products or gadgets or recipes that you see here, definitely let me know. Send a Facebook message, okay? So now I want to move forward with our show. We've got a very exciting spotlight. It's usually called the Sunday Spotlight. Today it'll be the Saturday Spotlight. And today's Saturday Spotlight focuses on Betty Marie. So Betty, hopefully you're watching. Just so everyone knows, if you apply and receive the Sunday Spotlight or the Saturday Spotlight, you do get a free Bariatrics and Tips logo magnet as my gift to you. So really the only thing that you have to do is furnish me with a short and sweet biography, a couple of pictures, and your home address. And then I'll pop that magnet into the mail. Betty, I'll send yours tomorrow. So hopefully you'll get that going. But again, send me a private message if you want to be the focus of our spotlight. It's a really great way to strut your stuff and toot your horn and puff your chest and do whatever you want to do. We all need to celebrate our milestones. However big or small you deem them, they are still big. They are still milestones. Forward is a pace. Doesn't matter how slow or how fast you are, you're still doing it. And you should be very proud of yourself, and you should celebrate. So let's celebrate Betty Marie today. I'm going to get her biography. Betty Marie had sleeve surgery July 21st, 2020. So she's got her 1 year rebirth day coming up. So happy almost rebirth day, Betty Marie. She says the morning of her surgery, she was 183 pounds, and she's extremely short. So when I tell you her current weight, I don't want you to like flip out. She is legit short and so cute. She says that her father was controlled by a diabetic diet, and she's got 4 siblings who have all been diagnosed with some level of diabetes. And sleep apnea is also a big issue for her family, and those things kind of tend to run the gamut, you know, when you're overweight like that. So she was definitely alarmed and definitely wanted to make a change for the better, so she didn't follow that footprint. And she says that that was the biggest reason for her need to proceed with the sleeve surgery. So when she sent me her biography, which I believe was last week, she weighed on the scale 99.3 pounds. So she's essentially lost about 84, 85 pounds. So just about half of her body weight. And she did said she's short and she's feeling great. So she deserves a huge round of applause. So congratulations, Betty Marie. I do have a picture I'm going to show you. I have to come around. I'm going to do that, and hopefully you guys can see her before and after pictures without too much glare, because now I can see my deck in the glare. Can you see her? I'm going to get closer and closer and closer. So the picture with her dog is the before picture, and then you can see how cute as a button she is in that green top. Isn't that awesome? Congratulations, Betty Marie. Everybody wish her a congratulations. And if you're tuning in on the replay, also give her a congrats too, okay? Because she did a wonderful job. Thank you so much, Betty Marie, for sharing this. I will get your magnets sent out to you on tomorrow's business day. So now we want to make sure we kind of segue into today's segment. I actually have it in the oven. It looks like I probably need about 5 more minutes before I can take it out, but I'm going to talk this recipe through to you, and I'm going to show you some things that I want to show you as well. So today we're making this crustless tomato pie, and this recipe was given to me by my best friend Liz a while back. It's a pretty tried and true recipe, and it's crustless, so we're not talking any carbs. And if you like tomatoes, basil, oregano, and mozzarella cheese, and you can tolerate eggs, you're gonna go nutso cuckoo over this recipe. It is so delicious, and it makes me happy, and it's comfort food for me. When I make it, the house right now smells like an herb garden, which is just one of my favorite things. But this is just so comforty for me. The good thing about this is it makes 8 pieces, because you're going to make it in a pie tin or pie plate or whatnot. And you can cut it into 8 even portions. You can freeze them. You can keep them in the fridge and menu plan, so that way you use all of it. But once you eat a piece, you aren't going to be able to put it down. It's just that good. And the ingredients are super simple. But the main thing is that you have to use fresh herbs. And let me tell you, I have such a story for you today. I went to go make this this morning. And I went to Meijer this morning to get my fresh herbs. Meijer is the grocery store that's here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the main grocery store. And they usually have everything. I've really never had to really walk out the store at all for as long as I can remember, not getting what I needed. So I went in there to get fresh oregano and fresh basil. Normally you can get it like by the plant. You can get the live plants and you can just pluck the leaves, or you can get it in a clamshell. And, a couple bucks, no big deal. They had nothing. They had no herbs at all whatsoever in the entire store. I went last night after work. I went this morning, didn't have it either. I'm like, how am I going to make this ridiculous, wonderful tomato pie without my fresh herbs when I tell you guys that we have to have fresh herbs? So I had this great idea that I would go to the farmer's market today. I called up a friend. I asked her if she wanted to come. She and her daughter came with me. There's like barely any fresh herbs. And the farmers that did have fresh basil, it was kind of expensive. And I would have done it. And then my friend Nicole, bless her heart. Nicole, if you're watching right now, I love you, and I'm not worthy. I am not worthy. She's like, well, Michelle, I've got oregano and basil growing like wildfire in my backyard. Come and get some. Like, okay. So we went through the farmer's market. We had a great time. Everything that I bought was green, which is so funny. I bought lettuce. I bought kale. I bought some really cool things that I have never heard of before, and I'll save those for future posts, just some herbs and stuff, but not the herbs that I needed. And so I went to her house and she started plucking all this stuff. So I'm going to show you. I just wanted to do a quick show and tell. She gave me this basil, and I've already used what I needed. Look at all this basil. This would have cost me at the farmer's market like 12 bucks. Okay. Then she gave me a whole bunch of mint, and it is so fragrant. Like, I can smell it even putting it far away from me. She gave me the mint. And then this is oregano, and there's thyme in here too. And so I already used all the oregano that I needed, but now I have so much left over. So I'm gonna be cooking good in the neighborhood. So those are my herbs. I just wanted to shout out to Nicole. Thank you for saving my you-know-what and making this recipe demonstration possible. So anyways, crustless tomato pie, it's amazing. I'm going to tell you 8 servings per serving. You're looking at 134 calories, 9 grams of fat, 7 carbs, and 10 grams of protein. I did not fortify this with any Gene Pro like I tend to do with recipes. I didn't think it needed it because this is such a light, low-cal recipe that you could serve it with like a spoonful of cottage cheese or some Greek yogurt. You can add to it, or you can just have it as something that you want for breakfast. It's a great recipe. So the things that you need are 4 tomatoes, and I used the big tomatoes, like the big greenhouse tomatoes. Sorry, came off, but I used a whole bunch of these, and I sliced them. I sliced the ends off, and then I sliced it in half, and then I sliced the halves in half. So I got 4 wedges out of that. And that's what I got. And I have a few things here that I want to show you. And so I'll do that as I go, but let's run down the recipe list first. Okay, so we've got 4 tomatoes that are sliced. We've got a tablespoon of butter, but I actually used olive oil this time around because I didn't have craziness. Chaos ensued in my household, and it was easier to grab the olive oil than the butter. A half a cup of chopped onion, a clove of garlic minced, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, or more if you want more, 2 tablespoons chopped fresh oregano. So that would be the yield of 2 tablespoons of chopped oregano as opposed to 2 tablespoons of oregano leaves and then chopped. I guess you can do either or, but I just learned like ways to interpret recipes, and there's a difference between 2 tablespoons of oregano chopped and 2 tablespoons of chopped oregano. So just so you know, and you're cognizant of it. 6 to 7 basil leaves that are also chopped. Yay! Hey there, Denise. I'm glad you made it. 2 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese, and then a little extra for the top layer. And then 2 beaten eggs. In this one, I actually use duck eggs. I don't know if you are, who's familiar with chicken eggs versus duck eggs, but duck eggs are so great to bake with and to cook with, especially these kind of recipes. They lend a higher richness, and I think it's because duck eggs are typically bigger than chicken eggs, and so the yolks are a little bit bigger too. But in baking, when I'm not paying attention to calories and I'm baking for the masses, I use duck eggs all the time, and it does make a difference. So those are our ingredients. A few things that I want to talk about with regards to the tomatoes. For this particular recipe, you want to make sure that you have a really good serrated knife. Serrated knives are what you want to use when you are cutting a tomato, so the juice doesn't doesn't spray everywhere, and the serrated knife will help retain the juice in the tomato, and really, it's just easier to cut the tomato. But what you want to do with this, for this particular recipe, is you're going to cut your tomatoes in those thick slices, and then you need to put them on a bed of paper towel. And you can see this paper towel, it's been like this for maybe a half an hour now. The paper towel is pretty much soaked. And so you want to make sure that you sprinkle salt on the top and the bottom, and then let it be on the paper towels for up to 30 minutes. And what that's going to do, it's going to draw the moisture out of the tomato, but not so much, because what's going to happen is you might get a very watery, juicy tomato pie, and that might make it hard for it to cut. You also want to save it when it comes out of the oven. You want to let it sit for a little bit before you cut into it, which, let me tell you, is really hard because it smells so good and it looks so good. And I haven't eaten yet today, for the exception of a couple cups of coffee. So I'm going to be hogging on this crustless tomato pie. Probably not on camera because you will laugh at me, and that'll be that. But so delicious. So make sure that your tomatoes are adequately blotted, and then right before you go to use them, you're going to take another fresh sheet of paper towel and you're going to blot the tops. And then when they're waiting for like the 30 minutes that you're sitting them, maybe halfway through, if you want to, you can change the paper towel and then flip them. And either way, just make sure they're as dry as they can without being disgusting dry, you know what I mean? Very important to use fresh herbs. I already told you that. And then the onion too, I just diced it thin. because I want everything to be neat and orderly in my tomato pie. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna follow the recipe. You're gonna slice the tomatoes, lay them on the bed of paper towels for up to 30 minutes, rotate them if you want, blot them before you use it. And you're gonna assemble this in a pie plate really similarly to how you assemble a lasagna, because you're just gonna go layer by layer. And you're gonna put the bottom layer of tomatoes around. I put them all around, and then I put one in the center. And then I cut one. I'll show you. I cut one into 4s, and then I put these little pizza pie sections in between them too. Oh my God, I want to eat this so bad. You can't even imagine how much I want to eat this right now. Tomatoes are my kryptonite. I love them. I eat them by the handful. I get the cherry tomatoes, the grape tomatoes, the Roma tomatoes, the greenhouse tomatoes. Love them. And what's even better, my friends that have gardens know that I love them, so I get lots of tomatoes in the summer. All right, so enough about the tomatoes. You want to melt the butter or put the olive oil in a skillet, and you want to cook your onion until they're translucent, probably about 6 to 8 minutes. Thanks, Denise. I'm going to. And then when they're soft, you're going to transfer them to a medium-sized bowl, and then you're going to add the cheese, the eggs, the herbs, and the black pepper to mix until combined, and it'll look like, it'll be all mixed up. And then you're going to arrange the first layer of tomatoes on the bottom. Like I said, you're going to put half that mixture on the bed of tomatoes, and then you're going to put another bed of tomatoes on top of that. There's going to be 3 beds of tomatoes total. So the middle one, and then you're going to put the remaining concoction on top of that second bed of tomatoes, followed by the final bed of tomato slices. And then once you do that, you can just dust a little dusting of shredded mozzarella cheese on top, and then you'll see when I take it out of the oven, I added some extra basil leaves, and hold on, I wrote it on my notepad. Hold on, I want to tell you what they're called. They're called scapes. I don't know if you've ever heard of scapes before. It's kind of new to me. These are scapes. Let me come around. Scapes are part of a garlic plant, and this is the flowering part of it. The flower I actually cut off. It was right here. Anything below the flower is edible, and they kind of look like scallions, especially when you chop them up, but they smell, oh my God, it smells so nice and garlicky, but it's not overpowering. So I added a couple of these for color, and I sprinkled them on top, and then I artistically put some basil leaves strategically all around. So I'm going to take that out of the oven right now. It says to bake at 375 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes, or until the edges are lightly browned. So I am ready to take it out of the oven and show you. Let me move these down. I still have some basil left in my scape. And now I'm going to take this out. Oh, and it's totally bubbling. It looks so darn good. I'll put this hot plate out. Normally I have this made prior to the show, but I just could not resist this time. So hopefully the trick is going to be how I'm going to show you this. So I'm going to come around, and I apologize for the poor camera thing. I'm going to take you guys with me off the tripod, and I am going to, hold on, can you see me okay? I am going to flip it around, and now I'm going to show you this crustless tomato pie. Can you see? Isn't it beautiful? See how it's bubbling? Look at that. What do you guys think? Tell me. It's amazing. That's the crustless tomato pie, and it makes 8 servings, and you could probably get, that's really, like, when you think about it, you could probably get more than 8 servings. It really depends on how much you can eat. I can't cut into it right now because it's just too hot and I don't want it to fall apart. But what I promise, thanks Denise, it does look great. I'm so excited. Here, let me move this away from it. But what I will do when I hack into it after the show, I will put a picture on there, and you'll have this recipe at at 3 o'clock. All right, so now you're gonna see me for a second while I put you back on the tripod. Hold on, yes, that is my chest. All right. All right, you traveled with me. Thank you for tolerating that. So this is the Crustless Tomato Pie. 8 servings is a pretty nice serving. It feels like it has set up pretty well. It is pretty juicy, as I'm sure you can guess, which is why we want to let it sit. But I'm putting the knife in, and it's definitely coming out clean. It's just super liquidy. So there's our crustless tomato pie and my lunch and dinner for the next 5 days. All right, but again, it freezes really well, okay? So I just want you to know that. So that's what we have for you today, crustless tomato pie. This looks pretty mammoth to me. This is, hold on, I love tomatoes, but not so sure about after, oh. You will have to try. I'll send some pictures and you'll be able to see and judge for yourself, okay? But this was just a great recipe that I wanted to share, and just another testament to how you can live large and cook small and find flavor. The flavor is going to be amazing because I can smell it throughout the house. It's delightful. All right, so coming up, well, first I want to tell you, remember, Bariatrics and Tips is on all social media. So you've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, and TikTok. You are always going to find replays and all of my videos for Bariatrics and Tips on my YouTube channel called Bariatrics and Tips. So if you don't subscribe, please make sure you do today. That video will be uploaded as soon as this segment is done today. It will also be reposted for replay on our Bariatrics and Tips new and improved page. We have that. You may not see a lot of activity on some of these social media vehicles, and that's okay. Preview of coming attractions, the best is still yet to come. So please just bear with us during these growing pains while we're trying to establish this new and improved Facebook page. There's about 3,100 members on our old Facebook page, and only less than 200 on our new page. So if you could help me spread the word, I would so appreciate it. Please just do what you can, because I want you along for this journey. There's some really exciting things. There's going to be some contests coming up, and just great ways to be part of this wonderful community that we're building, okay? We have a lot of new episodes that have been planned, and I wanted to tell you about them. I've got them posted every week until the end of September. So I do want to let you know that there's not going to be a segment next week. We are taking the whole week off. I apologize wholeheartedly. My son graduated high school, and his graduation party is next Saturday, and I just don't know if I'm going to be vertical on Sunday. I might be sleeping the whole day away. So I wanted to make sure you know there's no episode next week, but when we resume on the 25th, we are going to do an amazing chicken pad thai that is going to have you foaming at the mouth. August 1st, zucchini rollatini. You're going to love that one. August 8th, egg and feta breakfast cups. August 15th, veggie spring rolls. Oh my gosh. And you can make them veggie or shrimp or chicken or tuna or salmon. You're going to love this. Oh my gosh, I'm drooling. August 22nd, tuna salmon patties. Those are going to be magnificent. I just perfected the recipe this past weekend, and I can't get enough of them. August 29th, spinach frittata. September 5th, not really fried rice. September 12th, Mongolian beef, one of my family's most beloved recipes, and I love it so much. September 19th, squash or spaghetti squash pizza cups. These are amazing. And then 9/26, we're gonna do faux, F-A-U-X, faux, P-H-O, a great soup recipe that I've refined and made my own. So I can't wait to share all this stuff with you. If you have any ideas for recipe makeovers, let me know. I'm up for the challenge. My goal is for us to not feel deprived of anything. okay? So let's eat that. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed Sia Tomato. I hope you love tomatoes as much as I do, because they're a great way to add color and texture and flavor to your recipes. And thanks for hanging out with me on Saturday. I have got a whole lot of stuff to do now. After this show, I just move into graduation party mode, with the exception of tomorrow, when I get to see some family on the east side of the state in the Detroit metropolitan area. So I'm excited. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day and a great week ahead of you, okay? You take care. Bye.